Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now, do a quick shout out to all of the people who do support me on Patreon. So shout out to Tom Herkins, Tina Baker, theflatearthchannel.com, Texas Mike, Skeptic936, Sam Hain, Rune, Reinhardt, Qatar Craig, Paige Love, Michael, Matt, Life is Short, Kirsten Smith, new Patreon Joshua Bellissimo, hopefully I haven't butchered your name, Jeranism, God Rockin', Fireball X, Felix Hung, Edwin Johnson, David Wayne Foster, Dank, Chow Young Cat, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Billy Highvolt, Alistair Main and Adrian Quintana. Massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now, we do have a few people in Google+. Unfortunately, we're having some technical issues today with Discord, so I'm going to fiddle and faff with that throughout the show and see if we can get that to work. If not, it will be unfortunately closed to the public show. Now, you can get into the Discord server via the link, so if you want to join the Science versus Scientism Discord server, then you can. I say this when I'm live rather than on the pre-show. I'm totally in a muddle, aren't I? I'll be repeating all of that in about 3 minutes. Hello, anyway, everyone in the Google+.
Hello.
Hello.
Anyways, I say we keep the conversation going while you just download the app that I posted in Skype.
Yeah, I'm on the page to download it, to be honest. I was about to do it. It's just like I said before we started recording. We did about half an hour of recording, and I was like, I can't get Discord to work. Shall I see if restarting the PC will solve that problem? Obviously, it didn't. But there we go. I think there's just an issue with Discord. Apparently, occasionally this happens, so such is life.
True.
Good news, though.
Good news?
What good news?
Yeah, Earth is still flat.
Earth is still flat. Yes, that's definitely true. Right, I'll have a quick fiddle. I've only got about a couple of minutes before I'm going to start live, but I'm going to see if I can fiddle in the meantime, if you can talk to them yourselves.
Yeah, Paul, are you there?
I think he's
Yes,
busy.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to jump to get the mute button.
It's okay. Why don't you post sniper range card and vanishing point, those two pictures you put up yesterday, and we can have Nathan put that up when the show starts, so we can show how they don't have Coriolis on the range card, and they talk about vanishing points and perspective.
Yeah, hang on a second. I gotta find it. Yeah, I gotta find it. Actually.
All right, that's fine. I saw there was a new YouTube video from Burn Fat to My Stomach guy. He shows him in his convertible with a plastic bottle like you have for water. And he has the top down, and then he has the top up, and he's showing the two reference frames. He's all excited.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about last week.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think it's awesome, Mark.
I remember we had a long road trip once to the Sierra Nevadas, and these people we just met on the road were throwing potato chips out their window, and it was hitting our front windshield and splattering everywhere. But, it was just for fun. And we just met them on the road going 60, 70 miles an hour. So we got in front of them, and we had a thing of, Pringles. And we started throwing those out the window, and it was hitting their windshield. But inside the car, the Pringles were fine.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, you can't, because Discord is broken. However, if you do want to join the server for future shows when it is hopefully working, then there is a link below this video. So join the show if you want to listen on Discord, but you can't actually talk. So I'm going to just immediately pass over to our Google Plus Hangouts panel, as we do actually have a few people in there to talk to nonetheless. So hello to everyone in the Google Plus panel. How are you all doing?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, half an
I
hour
found
of
a 10th
recording
man.
faff, complete nonsense of me going, does this work? Does that work? So instead of subjecting to the pre-show audience to that, we just stop the recording, and then there's about a 3-minute pre-show with me going, yeah, I'll try one last thing, and then give up on Discord because it obviously doesn't work. But yes, there we go. Hey-ho. I will keep fiddling. Any signs of Earth curvature? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Not from California.
South Africa's still flat.
According to Sagnac, the HUD's display that drops below the HUD's display is proof of curvature, but then I turned right around and went online and found a HUD's display that didn't show Earth's curvature. So it, I guess, it works in some areas and other, and not in others.
When you say HUD, you mean heads-up display?
Yes, an aircraft. You know, I mean, it shows you the horizon. So if you ever throws up that HUD's display as proof of Earth curvature, if you go on YouTube and just type in HUD's display, you can find others that don't show it.
But it's
You do know they
referencing,
are.
it's referencing the horizon, right?
Yeah, but you do know it's at an angle. It's tilted up.
What do you mean by angle?
The angle of attack. The way the airplanes fly, it has to be tilted at an angle upwards to be able to fly at the level of flight. And that's why Globers claim no horizon's dipping. But in the meantime, the angle is actually just showing up. So it's still level, it rises high.
No, I got you. I understand that now. But yeah, he posted that in the Discord the other day or earlier for proof of horizon drop, and I guess Wolfie's done the same thing. But I went on and just typed in heads up display and showed multiple aircraft that showed the horizon line and the heads up display right on the horizon. So.
Well, I got a front windshield in my car on an angle. What does that prove?
Okie dokie then. Any signs of axial rotation?
Ah, my favorite.
Nothing.
Zero Earth-based Coriolis axial rotation.
Nobody's seen any deviating drones, no?
No backwards flying planes here either.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What is gravity?
I still want to know how you can have a scientific evidence of a concept.
Yeah, you can't. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
I'm waiting for.
No, still just think of marshmallows over a fire.
I know what to get you for Christmas.
What's that? Go on, what? I missed that.
Marshmallows.
Right. Squidgy called. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No.
No, damn, I forgot to bring my toothpick. Sorry.
Any evidence of the presupposition itself, the R value, Earth radius?
My favorite one. There are none here.
Well, that's why I have a curved windshield, don't I? Doesn't that prove R?
R value in your windscreen, did you say?
Is it a sphere?
I didn't hear that.
Only
I'm
for-
totally distracted. Sorry.
Only for those who live in a bubble.
Like a Jetsons car.
Hello.
Hey, Arwin.
Hello, Aaron.
Hola.
But
Any evidence
got
that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
No.
No.
Nope.
You wouldn't have PSI without the container.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Hey, Flatside, I see you got your new animated icon.
Yep.
Pretty
Like
cool.
it? Yeah, might
Yeah.
work out me a bit.
I got Paul posting 2 still shots of sniper field card, and maybe you can go through that.
Okay, I'm back into Discord, but whether or not we can hear them, nobody's actually saying anything, so... Hello, if you can hear me on Discord. Righteous Force said something in there and I didn't hear him. Sorry, no.
Yeah.
No joy. So did you guys hear what happened to Flat Earth British, Martin Leitke?
Yeah. Yeah, I shared about it on the show. Ranty went live yesterday
What happened?
with Martin on.
Pretty crap, eh?
Yeah, that's bad.
What happened?
Yeah, somebody, he got tricked giving out his password. He panicked. It's so annoying when that happens. But yeah, and he lost control over his YouTube account. And somebody took it over. He's now, he started up a secondary, or he switched to a secondary account to do his stuff. But his old account is basically in somebody else's hands, and they changed the backdrop and the icon and the name of the channel. The videos are still there though. But it's
No, it's not his. Yeah, but it's not his channel anymore. No, someone else's now.
the name was changed into some woman's name.
We got
And it's the second. I think it's the second time it's happened to him.
Oh yeah, Lily Berry it's called now.
Nathan, did you server meet yourself in Discord? Do you wanna be there no more?
Server mute. How do I do that? Is it just
No,
me?
I thought you did it. I wasn't sure if I took it off you. I thought you had it on, but because I was just unmuting everybody, and I thought I might have did you by accident.
Not as far as I can tell. I've got 2 buttons at the bottom that say deafening and mute for me that's not in the Hangout, right?
Okay. No, it's something unrelated. Don't worry about it. I just thought I did something you didn't want done. So
No, everything should be working. Like I say, I didn't even have to load anything this morning when I first set up. Yes, I've reset since, but it wasn't working prior to that, and literally all I've done is come back to the computer from yesterday, so technically nothing.
I'm gonna move you in the after show, see if that does something.
Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Still can't hear you in the after show. What pain.
Well, that's that.
Yeah, that's that until until whatever changes. But anyway, I'll fiddle with it once the show's over today. So presumably, though, other than being able to reassign the funds that go from that channel to a different AdSense account, they're not going to be. It's not like they've stolen his money because they can't get hold of his AdSense. That's why they're separate. But potentially, he could actually lose that channel. That just becomes someone else's channel with a load of his material on it.
I'll be so angry if that happened to me.
That happened to you?
No, I'll say I'll be angry if that had to happen with me because he has a lot of subs.
Yeah, he's got thousands of videos. Presumably something can be done about it, though. Presumably YouTube will actually do something. They won't just allow that to fly. Someone just duping somebody and stealing their stuff.
It can't be the first time, so they probably have experience with it.
I would imagine so.
Paul's got the screenshot that we were asking for. Does everybody see it?
You want me to put that up on screen,
Yep.
Paul?
Yeah. Paul, you going to get on the show and describe this or what?
I'll let you do it. I just discovered it. I just glanced at it briefly and saw that it was no Coriolis, but you can because I'm cooking breakfast for everybody, so I'll let you do it.
All right. So just listen when I need the next slide. Where'd you get it from, by the way? From that manual or?
Yeah, that manual that Redmond posted. It's a Army field manual, sniper manual.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just a cursory glance at it. Does everybody see it?
Yeah.
All right. So it says sniper range guard on top. Obviously, it's a test one. It says John Doe to the left where it says name. And if you look at the middle area, it says range, elevation, and windage. And then temperature, wind, TRP1, TRP2, TRP3. And under that, it's got descriptions of what they are, the road intersection, the bridge, and then intersection again. So where's Coriolis? Shouldn't it be under windage, range, elevation, windage, Coriolis, but it's not there. It's got how many meters away it's supposed to be. It's got the wind direction, the temperature.
Coriolis is in the old age home.
Yeah, it's just not here on this card. So, Paul, go to the next one, which is insightful as well.
Do you see it says azimuth?
So this one is really backing up what we've been saying about perspective and vanishing points. So you could see on the left the position of from an aerial view with the trees and the road having a 90-degree turn. And then it shows the vanishing point if the trees and nothing was in the way. And then the one to the D, E, and F show it in real life, what would happen. And they're saying that convergence has to be accounted for from the vanishing point, as you can see in the top right D. Interesting.
I don't think it get any more clearer than this.
No, this is, I mean, a child could understand this one. Just pictures. Horizon, vanishing point.
No evidence of curvature in this either. This is a side note. Just the vanishing point and horizon.
Well, unless they have a heads-up display that's curved, right? Now, you know what conclusion I draw from this, fellow panel members?
Go on.
There's no Coriolis, no spin.
No. Remember that they've been telling us that in the field manuals, Coriolis. But I recall a show where the NASA documents, as well as the aerospace industry, Martin Marietta, McDonnell Douglas, refers to their instruments working over a stationary flat Earth. Remember that show?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, so now in the actual field manuals of NASA and the aviation companies that are connected with NASA, they actually say flat Earth, stationary, these things are designed to work over a flat surface. And yet the manual for the snipers that's supposed to say Coriolis doesn't say Coriolis. It's like they got it backwards.
So the truth is right out in the open.
Yep. So the real field manuals
Yeah.
show no Coriolis, and the real NASA documents and aviation companies connected with NASA show no curvature and no sphere. But they do refer to it as flat Earth. And we can't find one word of Coriolis here.
Yeah, but they wanted to be there so bad that they would, in their own mind, see it, something that's not there.
Well, let me be Johnny Globhead just for a quick second. But they added it in the new version of the field manual. It's in there now. But they didn't add it back then, but they added it now. So it's there now, right?
So that's a good point there, Johnny Globehead. So when they didn't have it, were they able to hit their targets?
I don't know. You tell me. Were they?
Well, we have snipers throughout World War I, World War II, all the way to now. So you're telling me prior to this, they were able to have kill shots, and now, oh, if I only had Coriolis, I could have killed somebody? I could have taken out a dangerous individual? Doesn't
So
make any
Coriolis
sense.
only become relevant just in the last little bit, but it was not relevant back then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Coriolis is only relevant because this show is saying you got to have 2 reference frames to have Coriolis, and now they got to scramble around and fight that logic. And so they'll just keep doing that, saying that the moon's in the Earth atmosphere, right, Arvin?
Can we just say that Coriolis effect that they're putting up is actually just a new argument because they had to put something in to try to prove the rotation, and as you can see, it's not working. It's making them looking dumber.
Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate.
Yeah, they can put whatever they want to put, just like they do in the school books, but they've already put what they did in the older school books.
Yeah, but what like I'm saying is, how new is the argument about Coriolis anyway? I mean, do you think it was around 100 years ago?
Right, it's a moot point. Let them put whatever they want to put. We have Neil deGrasse saying field goals. So they've already spoken on the subject. So let them change it. That's what we want. We want them to come out with a new definition or add it so that we can have a timestamp. Oh, so what about the field goal? Oh, what about snipers back in the day? It's not going to work. That's why when someone lies, you got to keep lying to keep the lie going. Whereas when you tell the truth, you never change your story.
That's a good point.
So yeah, I welcome Coriolis in the books now. Bring it on. Then we're going to say what's the cause of it. And as Nathan has eloquently said, you got to have 2 separate reference frames. So now, are they going to go to all the encyclopedias and dictionaries and science papers that say you got to have 2 separate reference frames and change that? Good luck.
Well, and if the sniper, their artillery, only the sniper has to account for it, but then the rest of them don't. Well, here's the thing about muzzle velocity. Just to drive this home a little bit more, if you look down here, categories of velocity, artillery shells run anywhere between 914 meters per second to 1,667 meters per second, and then of course tank cannons, 472 meters per second to 1,021 meters per second. But look at the small arms; they actually move pretty fast. And they always bring up the issue of hang time. Well, if artillery can go 10, even up to 20 miles, I think they would have a very long hang time with a very slow velocity. Also with tanks. But with small arms like rifles and sniper bullets, they're moving very fast with a very short hang time. So, which do you think would be more advantageous in this discussion with hang time? Wouldn't it be the artillery and the tanks would have more hang time because they have longer ranges to go for or go after?
I think it's safe to say that the whole Coriolis effect being applied with sniper rifles and long-range artillery is just a folk tale or a little tricksy story that some of these military people like to tell to people they think would be easily fooled by it. As a joke, maybe.
Well, if it wasn't a tale, they could demonstrate it. But even when you concede to their explanation of Coriolis, they still go, well, we can't demonstrate it.
Well, I think Arwen's spot on here because there's that guy on the YouTube video where he turns his weapon shooting west and then he turns it east. He never shoots north, south, south, north. But not the case. He references Coriolis when it's just the arc and the velocity and the windage, as the card that we read shows. There is no Coriolis to take into effect when you're a sniper. So he's lying, or he's terribly mistaken about the velocity and the arc that he's got to put on his bullet for a long distance shot, and thinking that's the earth turning when it's just the velocity of the bullet slowing down and you got to have an arc on it. I've done that with my rifles. I've had to put a presupposed arc on purpose because the bullet leaving the barrel isn't the same when it's hitting the target in its velocity. I've done that.
You got air friction. Very simple.
Yeah, exactly.
And the greater the speed, the harder the friction. Now it is dynamically and it is gyrostabilizing, but that still will definitely slow down the speed over distance.
Yeah, true. And the rifling of the barrel with the circuit, the grooves inside the barrel. If you don't clean your barrel on a regular basis, that gets gunked up with gunpowder, and it affects the flight of the bullet as well. And QE does good with a Sea Sparrow missile over 34 miles.
I think it's safe to say that the Earth is not spinning, and that's why there's no Coriolis effect being accounted for.
Correct.
Even though people can still think as if it were.
George Muser. So, Armin, if the Earth is not spinning, and we know it's not, then there is no curvature. There's no need for this non-force force called gravity. There is no self-perpetuating iron core that is in the middle of something that's not spinning. And there's no R value.
I wouldn't conclude all of that out of that single element, but that Earth would be stationary and that, oh, look, the heavens, is the universe turning around the Earth then? That's a question you could ask at that point.
Correct.
But the other things, yeah, those are different matters.
But the nature of the Earth at that point, are people upside down in Australia when it's not spinning, or is it more of a plane?
Well, you'd have to figure out the nature of Earth in order to answer that question. So, in order for it to be Australia to be upside down from for America, then yeah, you'd have to prove that it is on another side that we are on a shape that has another side. So where's the curvature?
Exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Wasn't it a week or two ago someone posted a picture of a guy in Ecuador taking a picture of the evening sky, and it caught the southernmost stars and Polaris as well in one shot? Didn't I see
Huh.
that?
Interesting.
Who put that up last week or 2 weeks ago? I'll post it in Master B. I took a still shot of it. I'll see if I can find it. Be back.
Yeah, too many things against the globe.
That. And also, that's kind of mysterious. If you would have the... Wait, did you say they had the northern and southern rotation point of the globe of the heavens in one view? Looking one way and the other way?
I think he says you could see the southern stars in the northern hemisphere. If you beg the question, though.
Well, you could... Yeah, you are able to see even the North Star south of the equator, right?
Yep, Malaysia can see.
Right. So that makes no sense if, the North Pole Star was literally on the north, at the north of the spinning ball Earth, and the Southern Cross was literally at the South Pole point. That makes no sense.
Yeah, but they have a model, remember?
Right, and that model makes no sense.
I'm still looking for it.
Either the universe is just spatially warped, and like there is more universe surrounding us than physically fits in 3D space, as it were. You could go that direction based on that observation, or you could just say, wait, maybe it's holographic, maybe it's not literally physically anywhere. Just
So,
observation in
right.
relation to the position of the observer.
I think it was Glenn who comes on the show. He put it up, and I'm just trying to find it.
I know a few weeks back someone also talked about someone taking still shots of the constellations of the south and north at the same time.
That was it. That was the one, and he was in Ecuador, I believe. That's
Yeah, I never saw it, but I heard it though.
yeah. Got too many pictures. I'll be back.
Right, I've spent half the live show trying to get Discord working and failing, so I'm going to give up.
Oh, we filled it up.
Go again?
We've managed to fill it up.
Filled it up?
Fill it up.
Oh, yes, thank you for filling the... yeah, very much appreciated.
All right, I'm going to use this gap to shout out a baller in memory of ballers from the Discord.
Shout out retracted.
Oh, he can't retract it.
I don't even know who it is.
Out yet.
I'm going to shout out Danny T. I think he's an interesting baller to debate. Wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Yeah, actually, I would. He does concede points when you make them, which is really good. He doesn't just get dogmatic about it. So,
Exactly.
So would you say he's on the verge to being a flat earther?
I wouldn't say anything. No comment. But he's interesting. There's some interesting ballers in Discord.
That's for sure.
I think he was the one that when I was asking the question about the gas pressure of the tennis ball when I shared it on the show yesterday, or whatever, he was actually the one conceded that it would have less force against the wall. So I was like, wow, he actually conceded. And then I said, then somebody was saying, well, it's the amount of the material. I was like, well, if you can say there's the same amount of particles, but they have less force, then it could account for the differential pressure, right? And they go, yes. And I was like, woohoo! I was like, didn't have to go up to outer space to get differential pressure there.
Yeah, and he likes these sort of questions and thinking about stuff like this. I like it when the ballers even debunk the ballers sometimes. Sometimes they do that.
Yeah, well, they usually fight amongst themselves when it comes to the Coriolis effect, so.
Anyways, yeah, that's it. That was my shout out to Danny T.
Is that it? Is that all your shout outs done?
Yeah. Why should I shout out more ballers?
One last shout out. Shout out to Nathan for an awesome show.
So all of those shout outs are now retracted.
Yeah, Nathan is producer, director, host, actor. What else? What else role do you have, Nathan, on the show?
MI5 employee of the month.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Have you ever seen that? I know people in the UK know this is was it Kitchen Nightmares? I know it started over in the UK, and of course it came to the US. Gordon Ramsay went into one of the restaurants, and the owner was the employee of the month. I thought that was hilarious. So Nathan, when you said that, I thought reminds me of that episode of their Kitchen Nightmares. That's funny.
No, MI5 employee of the month.
You should make Eleanor employee of the month because she brings a lot to the table.
Sure is MI5, not MI6.
Well, I don't actually know the difference, so have I ruined that joke by saying the wrong agency?
Most of it came through muffled, so maybe, yeah, a little bit.
Have I ruined that joke by saying the wrong agency? Is it actually MI6, I should have said?
Oh, okay.
Now I'm asking Chocolate. I haven't got a clue. It was just a joke. Because I'm called a shill quite often.
I was asking you. That's you guys over there, right? MI5, MI6.
Anybody know the difference? What's the difference?
I'm not particularly sure, to be honest. I know it's different agencies, but I don't know.
I stopped asking that question when I turned 7.
What?
Nathan, you probably know that. You probably know that show. It was MI6 that actually came on the UK. It was broadcast over here, not broadcast. I think I watched it on Netflix or something. That was actually pretty intense television series. If that's truly what MI5 does, if that's really that way, that's pretty intense.
And what do they say they do?
What's that?
What do they say they do?
They're basically MI5s, I guess. Their version, our version of the FBI or the Secret Service, so to speak. Just like the CIA is supposed to be all international and MI6 is supposed to be all international, MI5 is kind of like our version of intelligence in the US. You know.
Oh, I see. So MI5 is internal, MI6 is international.
Right. So, and then it shows them how to infiltrate, have to create false identities. It's kind of crazy. If you ever get a chance to watch it, even just a couple episodes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was just a joke. It's like when people in the chat say about the shows being scripted. I say, well, of course they're scripted. Dearth scripts them.
Except me, I don't get any scripts. I'm fully improvised.
I'm still waiting for my pay.
Yeah, my email, the email you sent me, it looks like it was sent back. So I don't know if I ever got that script either. So
there is no script, obviously. I just pretend. So when it's getting heated, I say, "Oh, this is a good one. Death's written a really good script."
And I'm sure there are people who actually believe that nonsense.
There are people that believe that it's now become my father, it was my uncle. But there are people who believe that Robin Oakley, who is a political correspondent for the BBC, is somehow related to me, which he is not. But
I've seen that. And
have
they
more
put
time,
pictures of him next to you, like he looks like you. It's like, oh, Nathan, BBC. Hilarious.
I was going
You
to play
think
it up. I
that's
just haven't got the time. So I was going to. What I had in mind was pretending that the record button accidentally got pressed. So like leaving the Flat Earth debate backdrop like the end of the show, and make out like it's just accidentally been pressed. I'm like, oh, get Eleanor away from the buttons or something, so it seems like it's legit. And then have the phone ring, and then just edit in bits of Robin Oakley speaking. I'll be like, oh, all right, Uncle Robin, or I'd have to now call him Dad, because it's changed the narrative slightly. For some reason, he's become my father now. But yeah, I was going to blag it, but I just haven't got the time to do it. It's not that big enough a deal anyway. It's only numpties that are pushing this nonsense.
You should film yourself in front of a green screen, and then when you pretend you didn't turn off the stream, just turn it off and turn off your background to be a green screen. I don't know.
What, and have London behind me like Westminster or something?
I don't know. Pick up your script, get somebody to powder your nose, all that stuff.
Break the fourth wall, but have like a full-on production crew around me.
Exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that does come up a lot. Nathan Oakley is just an actor and stuff like that.
Just an actor. Cheeky bastards.
the world's a stage and we are just actors. I thought that was the phrase.
But I think it's a compliment. It's a compliment to your like production values and your skills.
Well, I learned at college. I keep saying this. Production techniques, lighting, sound, performing arts. That's what I did at college. Not that I would say my production standards are particularly fantastic. I'm fussy about the text lining up on the screen and things. That's about it. That's about as fussy as my production goes. I want it to look okay.
It's also your icon. Like when I first discovered your show and I seen your icon too, I thought maybe you were like somebody in like, I don't know, like on television or something. So I actually looked you up quickly. I'm like, because you gave that impression to me.
Oh, that's good. I came across as professional. That's good to know. Not much debate going on without Discord, eh? This is when if anybody ever wants to accuse us of having a circle jerk, now's your opportunity. Because this is, Discord can hear us, but we can't hear them. So there's not a great deal we can do about it other than to have a chit chat for an hour, and then probably a very short after show.
All right, I can't. I've got too many pictures, and I can't find the YouTube video that he was referencing. But if Glenn can get back on the show sometime later this week and give us that address to the guy who took the picture just south of the equator of the night sky showing Polaris and the southern stars.
Is the app Discord version more reliable than Righteous Force?
It's the only thing I use, and it's got the option to go to 200% volume. I'm not sure about the other things.
To be honest, I'd figured a workaround with that because you can increase the line level within the, within the normal version, whatever its not app version is called, and yeah, then you can lower people rather than. I assume it's exactly the same principle. They just give you the option for each individual rather than you having to raise the whole line level and then lower people who are too loud. But it has the same effect.
That's what you have to do with people with extra quiet mics.
Yeah,
on the app.
Exactly. You lower you raise the whole level and then just lower anybody who's massively over loud after that.
Yeah.
But there we go. So that wasn't a massive problem, but nonetheless, not working, that's a major problem. So I'll have to try the app version.
Yeah.
there's still 7 or 8 people here. I don't have to have completely dead air. Or maybe we do.
I would talk, but I'm making a bit of a noise.
I see. You excited about Amsterdam, Arwin? Getting to meet our happy faces?
Yeah, can't wait. Or I can, but yeah, looking forward to that a lot. I hope the weather will be better than it is now. But yeah, mostly gonna be indoors anyway. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, booked my ticket for the day yesterday, so I'll be there on Saturday.
Cool. Man, it's gonna be so many familiar faces. Face to face.
Yeah, weird as it's one of the lower key conferences, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Did somebody just
No.
try and join? No? I saw a little blue box. Gonna be one of those days.
So, Arwen, are you
Hmm?
excited to see Nathan Oakley first person?
Right. Yes.
And
And
Nathan?
confirm for myself if he actually is as big as is said.
What do you mean as big as I've said? I haven't said I'm big. You're calling
No,
me
other
fat?
people have.
What are you
You're
saying?
apparently a giant.
I'm not a giant. 6'2".
What?
6'2". That's not giant. You're taller than
That's-
me as
What?
far as I know. You're
Really?
like aren't you 6'4"?
That's pretty tall.
Oh my god.
You're taller than me as far as I was aware.
Woohoo! I'm not the smallest.
is that some
Wait.
sort of achievement? I don't think I'd want to be any
I'm
taller.
pretty sure that Riley is a big guy, right?
Well, no, he's relatively short, but he's quite stocky.
What? No,
He's short.
he's tall.
He's under 6 foot.
What?
Yeah. But you wouldn't exactly call him
I
small.
was apparently misinformed from many angles.
Okay. Yeah, he's not massively tall, but he's by no means small either. You know, he's not short.
Right. Anyway, never mind.
Wait, Arwen is 6 foot at least?
No,
He's
no.
6'4".
Okay. Because you
No,
sure
I'm
don't.
5'7".
You're 5'7".
Yeah.
I thought you were 6'4".
Holy shit. Damn, I wish I was.
Nah,
That would
you
be
probably
awesome.
don't.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
6'4" is too tall. Hit your heads on things. I hit my head on enough things to know that 6'4" is too tall.
I always used to stub my toes.
I
Just
don't
like
think
my
that's
mother.
resolved with height.
Right. No, but I consider myself relatively small, I guess.
Gleam in the chat says this is the height of the conversation. Well, I'm sorry, Gleam. Some days are like this. You can't have it
Yes.
all good. It can't all be effing and blinding at fundies.
Gotta take a breather every now and then.
Yeah, well, this is more stressful for me, if I'm honest. There we go.
Wow. That certainly boosted my confidence all of a sudden. I thought I was the smallest among you.
No, I think Ranty's the smallest.
Owen, I think me and Owen's the same height.
So do you consider yourself small or average?
Bit short.
Yeah, see? The people in the mainland here are just kind of tallish, I think. The Netherlands, Germany. Where were you from again? That side?
I'm from South Africa.
Can't you tell?
Right. Well, it's also Dutch. It's also
but
Dutch roots.
my mom's side is Afrikaans, so it's Dutch roots. My dad's side is more Scottish English side, so
Right.
it's a mixture.
So you have grey elf blood in you.
But his accent is 100% South African, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I look like a Scottish hobbit with South African accent. So.
Scottish. Hmm.
I'm not that ugly. I did modeling for a while.
Well, with me, I might be thinking that I'm relatively small also because I guess my head size compared to my body size is kind of big. And that kind of makes you feel smaller. It's weird.
Anyway, to bring this back on Flat Earth, so a couple of days ago I happened to cross a video by a chap who's actually one of my Patreons. So shout out to Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth. And I happened to cross one of his videos, thought it was really good, subscribed, let him know that I'd subscribed. And then over the last couple of days I've heard a couple of you mention videos. Now I've not delved into his back catalogue in the slightest, like I say, I've just watched one video. What's the deal with Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth? Any of you guys fans or watched more than one video?
I like his name a lot.
Yeah, it's a great name. But what about his content? That's what I was more specifically asking.
He's got some good content, yeah. And he says he's planning to bring more out soon.
Tell me more. I heard something about a convertible and throwing something, and then it descended into 10th Man telling us about Pringles being thrown from cars and the beautiful relationship that blossomed thereafter.
There was more about reference frames. Because that's why I was trying to shout him out last week or something. But yeah, 10th Man can explain it better, I guess. Where is he?
See if I can find a link and I'll stick it in the chat.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
Oh man, he's not exactly well subscribed to. 34 subscribers. Yeah, I'll definitely get one of his videos out in the chat now, so hopefully we can gain his subscriber count to at least 100 people, because he's definitely putting out content. 200 odd people in the chat now, so hopefully we can at the very least help out a fellow YouTuber if we haven't got any great content of our own today.
Yeah, we do.
Ah, you know what I mean. We're not arguing about Flat Earth with fundies, which is typically what people are going to tune in for, right? There you go. So I'll put the chat link to Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth in the info box. Definitely go and subscribe to him. Come back though. Don't just get bored and disappear. Don't start watching cat videos.
Well, I have photos and videos of satellites pointing in different directions. So if they want to claim geocentric satellites, that totally debunks it.
Depends what you mean by satellites, I suppose.
Balloon.
Right. Talking about the nonsense of things falling around a presupposed spherical Earth in a vacuum of the sky, then yeah, they're nonsense. There is quite literally balloons up there, though. Well, I'm glad I stimulated the conversation so well with that burn fat till my stomach is as flat as the earth discussion.
Yeah.
Discuss the trolls, maybe? Haven't discussed
Yeah,
the
the
trolls for a long
troll.
time. Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Seems like it.
The characters I like to keep an eye on are the ones that get claimed to be trolls when they appear to me to be on our side. So, for example, you've got yesterday you saying stopping traffic in Maresta Hat was giving you some trolling, right, Arwin? See, that makes me want to pay attention to him even more.
Well, good. He is an interesting guy. I'm not banning him, but he's very, very direct and outspoken and relentless at it. And he has some very strong views and opinions, and he's a pretty pretty damn smart guy once you get to know him, if he's okay with that. And yeah, there's just this bickering going on now between Trish Blythe and him in my chat. And there was another challenge set for tomorrow's early bird show, but I think that Trish declined. But anyway, Ras is probably going to be on, and we'll see where it goes.
So Gleam
Trish
says,
is winning. Look, she said it in chat.
Okay, cool. Tune into the early bird tomorrow, 1 p.m. UK time on Arwin, ARWIJN YouTube channel. So Gleam says, question: did 9/11 force the reveal of flat Earth? Now, I'm going to open this up to the panel, Gleam, but I'm going to say no, based on my questioning of other people and how they've discovered this information. So I'm going to say no. Anybody else? Feel free to chime in.
For me, it forced me to question. It didn't actually lead me directly to it, but I go like, if they can do this, then what are the other things they can potentially do? So it actually kind of cracked my ability or opened up my ability to question.
I agree with Paul.
Hello.
Hello, Ranty.
Hey, Ranty.
How's it going? Well, I've been listening. It's pretty dire today, ain't it? No Glovers in to bash their heads in with.
It's just Discord's broken.
Why is that? What have you done? Have you changed the setting in it or something?
The first thing everyone says, have you changed any settings? No. So after yesterday's show, I walked away from the PC and literally did nothing. Came back to it, other than starting a new Hangout. I just did nothing. It's just exactly as I left it. Which typically is what I'll do most of the week. You know, maybe if I change the setting, I'll refresh something. But typically that's how it just works. So no, nothing's changed. It's just stopped working.
It'll be through OBS. OBS plays up.
It's not OBS.
Sometimes.
It's not. It's not. It's my desk. It's not seeing that line. So once the live show's finished, I'll load a different piece of software, maybe iTunes or something, and just play a couple of seconds of music and see if it comes through the line, because it shares that line. And if it doesn't, then I'll know that there's something wrong with the computer as opposed to Discord. But I mean, I don't know yet. I just don't want to do it while the show's live. But we're only going to run for another, I don't know, 5 minutes live.
Do you not restart your PC after each show?
I restarted it after doing the show. So I was in the middle, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes into doing the pre-show with me and Righteous Force chatting away. But as soon as I realised Discord wasn't working, it turned into a further 10 minutes of me trying to get Discord to work. So I restarted the PC, and it still didn't work.
Bummer.
Well. You know, you take the rough with the smooth, eh? You can't have every show be glorious.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll be subscribing when I get home. I'll subscribe to Burning Fat, whatever it's called.
It's called Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth. So for those of you who want to go and sub to him, there he is.
Has he moved any? Has he got any subscribers? Has anyone gone over and actually subscribed?
I subscribed. I can't remember why I came across his video.
Just check. You shouted him out just now.
Oh, I see. Has anybody immediately
over?
subscribed? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look.
Let's do a live one
Arwen?
before we go.
Okay.
Let's see how many people we can get to subscribe to him in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, so in the last, I think he had 36. Now he's got 44. So there you go.
Okay, well, let's see who's slacking then. There's people in the chat that can just click the link and subscribe to the guy. It's dead easy.
Ranty,
Can't hear anything because Ranty's wind noise.
No, you're right. I'm going on mute.
Dank says, I subbed already. Of course you did, Dank. You're there before everybody. You were first.
Everybody should just sub for everybody.
Loads of people subbing. Good for you. Can't have a fundy bash. At the very least, we'll have a subscribe-a-thon for Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth. Hey Dog says, if it's worth subscribing to. Yeah, man. Of course it is.
For sure.
Link doesn't work for you, Trish. Ugh. Let's give it another go. Unless you're on an iPad and then you just can't press links. Yeah, copy link. There we go.
Oh,
That should
by
sort you
the way,
out.
Nathan, also still going is Jason of the Disbury family. He was starting live like at the beginning of my early bird show, but that's still going. Did you
Nope.
know? Globe Lite Euro Tour Cardiff Day 13 is live also now. It's part of the Globe Lite Tour. Did you see yesterday?
I haven't, I've got to be honest.
It's pretty good. Like they have pretty interesting conversations on there. So not all of it, but there's every day seems to be some interesting conversation going down.
I think I found the problem.
Well, just can I say that Martin Leaked is there today, so he should be on that stream.
Cool. Oh, Mark Sargent also?
I'm not sure about that, but I know Martin Leaked is gone there today because it's his hometown, isn't it?
I'm watching it right now. So
That can't be right. I was thinking Bitdefender had shut down my mic access, but mic access isn't the problem, is it? It's me hearing them. Shout out to Trish Blythe for the super chat. Just because we need to fill in time. I'm gonna probably draw a close to this train wreck shortly, Trish. And hopefully tomorrow's a better day. That said,
Something going on with the stream. I've been in a meeting. I haven't been paying attention.
the Discord server is broken, or can't get contact.
Oh, that sucks.
did you not think it was suspiciously quiet?
Yes, I did actually. I came out, I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I can't seem to get any sound from Discord. So, hey ho, such is life.
Did you hear the first part of the show, Chocolate? Any of it?
I got off when we were talking about MI5 and all that. I've been in a meeting since then. I just came back.
It was a good
I
present.
was going to make sure you heard about we debunked all the sniper stuff.
I was going to say there's a good presentation
yeah.
at the beginning that was well worth it while I was faffing around. Fortunately, I've got people like Paul and 10th Man to actually hold the fort and do a good presentation on Coriolis. Cool. So with that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you are watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you tuned in, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Ooh, it's getting hot here these days.
This is going to be a really dead air filled after show as well then.
Oh, sorry.
I was just listening to QE in the Discord.
I've actually got something to talk about. I guess I don't know if you can hear it because it's more of me just trying to understand. Because when they bring up mass and the definition of mass, what's the crux of the problem? Because when I was looking at it, it seems like to me, anytime they try to measure mass, they're using weight to determine it. So really, if that's true, then the equivalency would be mass is equal to weight. Am I right in that? Somebody can help me understand that better.
Yeah, but mass and weight are two different things.
Mass and weight are two different things? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So when we're using the argument, when they bring up mass as an argument, so what's the disconnect ultimately?
Nobody knows.
Hours.
4 more hours of this. No, I think it's got to be a computer sound problem because. Don't talk to me because I'll just bore the audience with boring stuff.
Nah, I went into Discord. I could hear you. I could hear everyone coming through. Okay. But we just can't talk to you.
Right.
Can I answer Paul now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute.
All right,
Nah, don't mute just yet. There's a
Can I
important
answer
thing.
Paul?
Hold on a second. Hey, Nathan, how about you gonna be free at 9 o'clock UK time for about 20?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Adam and I are gonna give you a ring. We're gonna talk a little bit about voice meter banana and yeah. So 9 o'clock your time.
Okie dokie.
All right, go on. Whoever was talking, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Thanks, John. Paul, you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. You see, the thing is, mass is just a measurement of matter, while weight is actually just a measurement of something pulling on it. You see, they actually contradict each other.
So mass is the amount. No, wait a minute. So mass is what? Now say that one more time. Mass is what?
Yeah, mass is just a measurement of the matter.
Mass is a measurement. It's a measurement. No.
Yeah, of matter. But the weight is the measurement of the pull of the object.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. That's what I was trying to understand, because when they use that as an argument, that's kind of where I'm trying to understand the disconnect. So mass attracts mass, which means it's just the amount of something or matter but you have to have something that's causing this amount of something doing something, right? So kind of where the disconnect is.
Yeah, it's like saying, how can you have something pulling nothing really? I mean,
right, but we're not.
Isn't the main problem with mass the definitions behind it? Doesn't it have multiple definitions? Like, doesn't it share the same definition in some respects with inertia and a mole at the same time? I mean, that's a problem.
Equivocation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. Because it's described as the amount of matter in something, right? And it's also described as the resistance, the movement. I mean, how many definitions does this thing have?
So it comes down to it's either inertia or the amount of something, and that's right. That's not the same definition.
yeah, they're just trying to intermingle the two.
Yeah, because I could have sworn John had a citation saying that, I forget who it was, said that we don't really have a distinguishable description for mass. Something like that. I can't remember the guy.
Basically, nobody knows what mass is, or nobody can agree on what the definition is.
It's the same kind of principle of taking Newtonian gravity and Einstein gravity and saying they're the same thing, when in matter of fact they're two different things.
So basically, they're changing the definition to match what they want it to do. That's basically the crux of it. They're just changing the definition whenever they want it to work with whatever they want it to work with.
Yep, correct.
I got Flatsoid. I mean, you don't have to tell me exactly where you're at. This is a different topic, by the way. You don't have to tell me exactly where you're at, but are you kind of in the northern part of South Africa or more towards the southern part of South Africa?
At the moment, I'm more in the middle.
Since you're down there and seeing the stars, what's your thoughts on what you observe star-wise? Because obviously I'm not down there. I'm in North America, so or in the U.S. What have you observed down there? What are your thoughts on what's down there with the stars?
Well, I've moved all over South Africa, and it doesn't matter where I go, I actually see the same constellations. Keep all their cycles the same time through the years. So, me, it still looks the same.
You see like Orion, and that's what we see up here. You know, obviously the Big Dipper is close to the northern Polaris. Do you see all that too down there?
No, I haven't seen that far though. But I haven't been more northern up of Africa. You know? South Africa is much more south. So yeah.
But the stars do rise in the east and set in the west. Is that right?
Yeah, but it changes though. When was it? 2 weeks ago? Let's just start with the moonrise. I couldn't even see the moon for 2 weeks.
You said when you see moonrise, you did what? I didn't catch that. You didn't see moonrise?
No, didn't see it for like 2 weeks because the moon was too low. You see, it changes position as it goes with its cycles.
So it's kind of on the infinity-shaped pattern. It does the same thing as the sun, except it's moon, right? It moves up and down in the south, or the more north or more south, depending on time of year, just like the sun does.
Yeah, it's all got to do with the season. How can I say, it keeps the same observations through the year, but it just changes position through the seasons. I don't know how to explain it more simpler.
I found a citation for that mass that we were talking about. The guy, I think it's Edmund Taylor, says nature does not offer us any concept as the amount of matter. History has struck down every proposal to define such a term. Even if we could count the number of atoms or by any other counting method try to evaluate the amount of matter, that number would not equal mass. So yeah, I guess just the term mass is problematic.
Well, I mean, and you look into chemistry. They talk about atomic weight. They don't. I don't remember anybody ever talking about mass. It's just usually atomic weight, which is. I could be wrong if somebody's more of a chemistry person, and it's been a long time since chemistry. But I don't. When I've looked at stuff, it's about the atomic weight of the material, I think.
Yeah, because I've said it before. Like when I was a kid, what I remember, right? Because science is my favorite subject. And I remember mass. What did they say? They said matter is the amount of mass in an object. No, matter is what a mass is made out of, and then mass is the amount of matter in an object. So, like, even when I was a kid, I used to think, well, these things kind of mean the same thing. Mass is matter, matter is mass. I used to be confused by that a little bit. Like, why do they even have two different words for the same thing?
How are you going to know how much moles is in something anyway?
Right, and they never mentioned mole.
Yeah, I looked that up too, and I think it's like a mole is a percentage of so many particles of something or something like that. I think if I remember right, I could be misquoting it, but technically that's what a mole is.
I think the only difference is the mole is a certain amount of matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that still doesn't negate that it's the amount of substance, not a mole, but mole, right, is the amount of substance. A mole is a certain amount of substance. So you're not getting around that. Now, they may get around it in the Baltard circles, but they ain't getting around that shit here. Ain't happening.
I will say, QE, I listened to your show yesterday. It was good. You handed him his hat.
Oh, epistemology for truth. He was rumpusing me the whole time. I was getting really frustrated. I was trying to appeal to Spec to get him to shut up. But that's what it was like for 2.5 years, man. It ain't gonna be like that anymore. Tell you that much.
So that wasn't a live show. That was something from the past. It wasn't something happened. Obviously, Lily wants to say something. I thought that was like something you just did yesterday, but it was something from the past.
Yeah, it was from 2016, man.
And it's still relevant today.
It's kind of funny how he refused to believe that the laws weren't the same for big and small things. Talking about the bullets. I was just like, what? Is he trying to do a double-slit experiment with bullets? What's wrong with this guy?
He didn't. He wanted a citation for stating that electrons were Newtonian particles. That's like trying to get a citation that water is made from H2O or ribeyes come from cows. It's just like, duh. You know, you're not actually somebody wrong on it.
Yeah. Actually, hold on, my phone's decided to ring.
Yeah, sometimes they don't realize the arguments they bring up actually just defeat their argument.
One thing what he was trying to do was, see, I cornered him with the germ theory. He tried to get cathexis on, germ theory, a little false equivalence fallacy. And then I immediately went to, what's your scientific evidence for your spinning ball religion, right? So he had to dance, stumble and bumble and fumble and try to get out of that. So he went to the quantum mechanics discussion, which I hammered him in a thread like a week earlier. Just took him and a whole bunch of other, ball-tard crayon munchers to the woodshed. I mean, left and right and left and right. And I think it was on that stupid channel, that stupid guy with the cat. Remember his name. I think he's still around. I just can't recall his name. But there were loads of ball-tards there, man. I was just whipping them around. That's why he knew the witch path information, because I had stated it in that form a number of times. So he's just repeating back to me what I already told him. Like he knew, he didn't know anything. So he's a joke. He's a pretender clown. I told him as much.
Yeah, I think you kind of helped clear something up for me. I'm probably still not fully coherent on it, obviously, but he was making the point about the machine gun, and how does that affect, the electron going through the double slit? Because I thought, I didn't understand that either. I still don't quite grasp it, but I guess technically, like I'm looking at my fridge, I know where the fridge is. So the wave particle has collapsed to make my fridge, so to speak. Is that a way to think of it that way?
But I think he was trying to equate two different things, right? I mean, because I think John told him at some point, well, you have to have the right size slit for the thing that we're talking about, right? So you're not going to use the same slit that you use for a photon that you're going to use for a bullet. That makes no sense.
Exactly. You got that right. That's part of it. The other part is the interference is so we're talking, it's so small. You can't see it. See, everything averages out. It just gives you your eyes, or anything that we can observe with this, just averaging everything out. But if you could get down and you can get down with electrons and photons to that level, then you can see it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see it. It's not happening. There's too many. I wish I had a drawing tool or something that I could use. Maybe I can go find one some other time. Not now. and maybe explain it. I'm trying to think if I did a presentation and I explained that somewhere. Maybe on Bassano's channel. Remind me about that. All right, and I'll see if I can't, chase that down.
Yeah, I remember when I took statistics in college, and I started
Yeah,
thinking
I'd love to see that.
I'm sorry. When I started taking statistics in college, and of course that was still, I almost failed the class because trying to, do the formulas, and of course the teacher was horrible. But I did start seeing that, this is something true in reality, almost, statistical, the bell curve. And I thought, but what that means, I have no idea yet. And, more I've heard you talk about the quantum slip experiment or the double slit experiment and all that stuff, I'm going like, yeah, that's interesting. It's like, there's kind of where they start to meet at that point. Does that make, am I understanding that correctly, John?
Here, let me put it to you this way. Let's say you have a detector, and the detector is like, let's give a size 10 to the negative 35th in size, right? Within that detector, you have 10 to the 18th. The size between the waves is so small. You have 10 to the 18th perturbations within that 10 to the 35th detector. How about that? Does that help?
It's clear as mud, but that's okay. The more I listen and the more I try to understand, it's getting more and more clear.
Yeah, right. It's just so small. It averages out it washes out. That's a better way to say it. The quantum effects wash out, and they average because you can't discern. You can't see that small. You can't do it. So it's ridiculous on its face. Anyone with any quantum mechanics background will listen to a question like that and just give that friggin' dumbfounded look back because it's so stupid to even bring it up. It's proby. It's somebody just coming off the street and think they got it down. It's clinical level Dunning-Kruger is what it is. That's what they all suffer. They're pretender clowns suffering from clinical level Dunning-Kruger. They think they're sophists, right? They think they're academics, but they're Elmer Fudd sophists. That's what we got here. That's all we got here. Not only with them, all the pseudoscientists and even some actual scientists, I would have to say.
Well, most of them are just parroting the narrative, and they don't even look too carefully into it because we always have to point out the details of their beliefs because they don't seem to know it every time.
Question. So that experiment that you talk about, what is it, the quantum eraser with the causally disconnected choice, something like that?
Yeah,
Is that what you call it? Is that like a bigger version of the delayed choice? Is that like a more extended version, or like? Because I have to look into that more, but because that's usually where you get that you like it's like more on a universal basis type thing. I might be asking it wrong.
The space between the detectors, it's a similar type of experiment, but instead of having the space between the detectors like all detectors like within a 2 feet area, the detectors are, don't quote me on this, the detectors, there's two sub-experiments within the experiment. One of the detectors is 55 kilometers away, and the other, and the next part of the experiment is 144 kilometers away. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bigger. You could say it like that. That experiment, if you read through that experiment, I had to read through it like 150 times to figure out what exactly was going on there. But it's an outstanding experiment, man. You'll have to go through it 150, maybe 250 times.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I am interested in it.
No, it takes dedication.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get the real grip on the delayed choice before I go on to that. Because I always hear you talking about that one. I'm like, all right, I don't know. Let me let me calm down before I go into disconnected choice, Cosley, all that shit. But I think I have a decent grasp on the delayed choice. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's all you really need to know is delayed choice quantum eraser. That'll put hair on your chest.
Yeah, that one. When I started beginning to start to grasp that one, I'm going like, holy crap. That's basically all I could say. Is like we are basically. Go ahead.
What was really funny that I can remember this like it was yesterday. Cathexis and I. He goes, let's do a quantum mechanics presentation. I said, all right, no problem. He goes, yeah, that delayed choice quantum eraser, right? And he goes, can you explain that to me? And then we were talking. It was just informal. We were just going slow. And I had most of the presentation done already, so I just pulled it up on the screen. And I explained it to him. I said, you got that? Do you understand that? He kept on saying, yeah. And then we said, okay. Later on, it was early in the week. We had a few days until the presentation was, we were going to do the presentation. And a half hour later, he calls me back and he goes, wow! Yeah. Nathan did the same thing. His was a little quicker. Cathexis, it was about 30 minutes later.
Yeah. It's interesting, although the whole magnificence of the very effect could be simply routed in the very fundamental misunderstanding of what the material is you're working with in the first place.
Get out of here.
Nope. Staying right here.
You're heading into crayon munching territory.
No,
Remember we were
I'm
just
not.
talking about Dunning-Kruger pretender
No,
clowns?
no, I'm not.
Be very, very careful about your next words out of your mouth.
That's fine.
Oh, boy.
Right. Well, the entire effect may be simply mysterious because of the base assumption of light being a particle, not opposed to a wave, by the way.
Whether it's light or electrons.
Not opposed to a wave. I know you were going to immediately rumpus me about that.
Doesn't matter. You're wrong.
Not a wave.
Doesn't matter.
Light is not a wave.
Light
is not a wave.
God, both of you, hold on.
Light is not a wave. Just so you know.
Arwen,
There's no discussion about that.
Arwen, right. It makes no difference to the quantum eraser. None. Whether or not, it doesn't matter. What's hitting the plate is quanta. Doesn't matter what you call it. Yeah, it's definitely not a wave, and I know you understand that anyway. But it makes no difference to the experimental outcome what you quantify that chunk that hits the plate. It matters not.
Yeah, it does.
Electrons do the same thing. So he's trying to get this photons. It's a red herring fallacy. It doesn't have to be photons. You can do electrons.
Let me try a different tact.
It does matter if you're going to separate light into indivisible units and presume it is all that. Then it's pretty mysterious.
Owen, let me just try a different tact. Did you know that they'd scaled up the experiment?
Oh, sure.
So you appreciate that they've done this with larger stuff.
Huh?
Right, well, it still reacts the same way. It still does exactly the same thing. So who cares?
Of course.
So
I'm not claiming it's not a natural phenomenon.
My point is, it is a natural phenomenon.
I said, I don't claim it's not a natural phenomenon.
Fine. I misheard you. Sorry. I'll take that back. My exasperation. So it makes no difference to what light is or isn't, because they've scaled it up with bigger matter. So who cares? It makes no difference to the experimental
bigger
outcome.
Matter?
Yeah.
Bigger matter, you said? So
yes.
They did that thing with not light?
Yes, physically bigger. Yes.
No, what did they do it with, if not with light?
stuff that's bigger. I don't know. Over
Like
to
what?
you, John.
Objects? Physical matter?
I can't name the
material
actual material. I'm asking John to help me out.
Shut up. You'd know something, right? They did it with electrons, buckyballs. I think the largest one with interference. You got something to say?
Okay. Just funny hearing buckyballs again.
It's just balls making you laugh. Fair enough. Moving on.
It's isotope.
Let's keep the sniggering
Yeah,
down.
it's fullerene balls. You have to look up fullerene balls. Go ahead and look it up. They did it with that. That was a long time ago. I think the largest interference. Didn't I talk about that? I got to go search that down. I think it was greater than 10,000 AMUs.
Now, here's a question I have, John, regarding that. If you don't mind.
Hold on, AMUs. Hold on.
Interference pattern have to
Hold
do
on.
with
I want to know if
the
Arwin's familiar. For God's sake, Arwin, why are you rumpusing the shit out of this conversation? I don't get it.
Wow, first it's all dead air. Now I actually get into something real, and now I need to shut up all the time. It's
Not shut
interesting.
up, just not
Final
interrupt
word.
constantly. Just have a reasonable conversation. AMUs was the qualification for the scale. Is that a familiar scale to you or not?
Okay.
The yes or no question. Are you familiar with that scale?
With what scale? Sorry?
The scale that was quantified in terms of the size of stuff that went through.
Let me see if I can track it down. 1 second.
Well, I would recognize that electrons or electricity and light could definitely have interference patterns. Absolutely. As for the claim of that being done with buckyballs, I've heard it. I've heard it before that it has been done with material. I don't fully trust that just yet, though. I'd have to take a closer look, because that just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, that a molecule, a literal big molecule, and then buckyballs are kind of big, that it would behave with wave-like patterns. That doesn't make any sense to me. But
well,
look, I am not an expert, so I haven't studied this stuff for 20 years straight. But I still have my questions, and I have spots where I'm just saying, yeah, absolutely.
None of us
I
are
believe
experts,
this.
Arwen.
Hmm?
None of us are experts, so that's fine.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
But I am trying to build up from the foundation. Sorry to say this kind of to you, Quantum Eraser, but I do kind of I do approach quantum mechanics the same I have all the other sciences. And I'm being very suspicious and skeptical. And that's also because I know from practically doing that is the better way to get to know it, as I did with gravity.
But get down. There's no problem with that, and I understand that. What other sciences are you talking about?
Things you call pseudoscience.
There's your problem. I knew it.
Yeah, it's also partially inspired by you, but I'm also going to do it to your field, just telling you.
As you should.
You already know that. Of
course you should.
No problem with that.
No problem.
No?
If it's the thing is, Arwin, right? If it's real, if it's actually experimentally valid, no one's got anything to worry about. You know what I mean? It's not like someone's going to shit in their pants because someone's having a closer look. Heliocentrism and the other pseudosciences, they need to crap themselves when someone scratches the surface, because it's just a little crap facade. It's a papier-mâché that you can poke your finger through. So real science doesn't have that issue.
Right. But I also think that concerning everything surrounding the field of quantum mechanics, there is so much misunderstanding in it that there are just a lot of misassumptions, even as you go into it and try to figure it out. And it's prevalent. And I don't know why that is. It's like, it seems almost like it wasn't approached or explained properly, because there are so many of these misunderstandings that keep on returning, and it just it gives me suspicious feeling like it was almost designed to just make it too complex.
And he won't shut up. He just keeps on going on and on and on.
I wasn't finished yet. I'm done now.
Can I have a little guess as to why that might be the case? I'm going to hopefully...
Yeah, then I'll have a go. Let's see if you got it. Go ahead.
Well, I think that because it's the prevailing science now, the laws are quantum mechanical laws, you've got a lot of the same hijacking going on. So people will use that word as a magic word, quantum, when it's not actually in any way... Some of the things that are labelled quantum have no relation to the scientific validity that's given by, for the sake of argument, the delayed choice quantum eraser. But they'll still be labelled quantum by, you know, pseudoscientists, basically. I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it.
Right. If I may respond to that.
Your claim was so ambiguous, Arwen. Who are the people that are causing the problems here?
Well, also the people that have pretty much built it all. And their mindset of that time. Also.
Pseudoscientists. You've said it already.
No, but also just mathaholics, a lot of them. So it's all doing
mechanics is based on mathematics. That's the problem. Here's what I was going to get to. Are you talking about quantum physicists, or are you talking about pretender clowns talking about quantum mechanics? Can you which one?
To be fair, I can barely tell the difference.
That's the problem. That's the problem, and I think that's intentional.
But it is also...
I'll agree with Arwen there, and I think that is a major problem.
Yes.
Because some people are very good at pretending that they know what they're talking about, but really don't. And it's like, if you don't know anything about quantum mechanics, like, who am I going to listen to? Am I just going to turn somebody on and they sound smarter than me, so I got to take what they say? You know?
Right.
So that is a problem. I get it.
Yeah. And one of my most pressing issues with quantum mechanics in general is that the focus, the interest, the mind focus seem to be laid on that quantum thing, while most of it seems to be rather the detailed micro study of the effects of, well, in my opinion, field-based things like electricity and light, and then going onto a giant presuppositional train of particle-like approach of that concept. And that is what I think is going on, because I think that most of quantum mechanics is just the thorough study of light and electricity, how it behaves, and using all kinds of interesting things to apply to technology from that.
Arwen.
You know, right? You just drone on and on and on about your little philosophical feelings about the matter. All that was word salad hogwash. Sorry.
It's my angle to it at this moment. Sorry you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it, it's hogwash. So the current record holder for interference is carbon 284, hydrogen 190, fluoride 320, N4, nitrogen 4, and sulfur 12. There you go.
So these are the scaled up. That's the actual material that's been fired through and produced this interference pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. There you go. You got there in the end.
Bullets.
Sorry.
Nobody did a machine gun with bullets.
Hold on, Chocolate. Sorry. I just want to hear the list again, because Arwen asked me, he's like, what's been fired through? And I'm like, I don't know. But if you can read the list again, that'd be great.
I got this as the current record holder. I did this a few years ago, and then I think it was like a couple months ago, I went searching for the bigger one. I couldn't find any. Not that there isn't, but this one is from Gerlich and Eibenberger. Matter wave interference with particles selected from a molecular library with masses exceeding 10,000 AMUs from physical chemistry, chemical physics, 2013, carbon 284, hydrogen 190, fluoride 320, nitrogen 4, sulfur 12.
Thank you. So does it now make sense why it makes basically sod all difference, the question of what light is in this regard?
No, it doesn't, because that was basically an example of probably one university or something doing these tests, and that's not sufficient proof to me, really. Also, just the giant complexity of it all makes it extremely
One university doing this
test. It's not something anyone can do in their backyard.
John, did they use those in the delayed choice or the Cosley? Which
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're still getting interference. It's still going to act the same way.
Gotcha.
We're talking interference, right? That doesn't matter. And it's not one university. Where'd you come up with that?
I was going to ask
could
that
you
next.
name the list then of it?
That's what
Every
I was going to ask
university
next.
that has participated in the material part of those experiments?
Yeah, there's a ton of them. Go search. I'm not going to search for them out for you. I gave you two: the buckyball or the fullerene molecule, and I just gave it to you, the Gerlich-Eidenberger.
That's not a university though, but
No.
No,
So why'd you say one university did it?
because experiments need to be repeatable.
No kidding.
Yes. So if just one university did all these things in consequence, to me, that's not really absolutely definitive proof of it, because they could have been tricked. They could have been tricking. You don't
No,
know.
it isn't. So who cares?
Right.
If it's just one group, I want to see all of them do it.
But it isn't.
Well, give me the list.
It's not one select group of people that's done this, that have scaled up and come to the same exact probability distribution that you got with what you're arguing about in this regard, which is light. My point was that it makes sod all difference. This argument that suddenly pins on the actualization of what light is as an attributable attribute of the delayed choice or the double-slit experiments. It's just horseshit. I don't get it. But people do it all the fucking time. Well, it's just bollocks. It's got nothing to do with it. It's like, what? It's like seeing somebody testing out a new car and going, well, will my horse like the smell of it? It's like, what the hell are you asking? It's got nothing to do with it. Well, it's got horsepower. It's got horsepower, though. No, they're not. It's not. You know, we're not trying to advertise the amount of actual horses. It's got nothing to do with horses. You don't understand. That's just a quantification. No, but I want to know if my horse will like the smell of it. If that's akin to what we're being asked when we're like, well, does it prove light's a particle? What? That's not what the experiment's doing. What the hell?
Exactly.
This is like...
Exactly.
It's come from that. You know, they're looking at light and, you know, you go back 10 experiments and, yeah, you might be able to get that you might be able to attribute that question to an experiment long before the double-slit or quantum eraser delayed choice experiments. It's just...
Really? Then where did it come in?
You got it, Nathan. You got it. All this is about photons as particles. You got it. They're still on this. It's Ken Wheeler. Everyone's like these little Ken Wheeler friggin' monkey tropes out there. It's not a part. They were in my friggin' chat yesterday. Hey, Gleam, I'll tell you what, brother. You better get off your little Ken Wheeler. You better give up that Ken Wheeler ghost. It's not going to end well for you. I told you that. Now, I didn't have time yesterday. Now, you better give up the Ken Wheeler ghost. I'm telling you that. You hearing me, sir?
I don't really... Why is there this big fight between whether light is a particle or if it's a wave? I don't... Maybe it's just my ignorance.
Because of the mathematical implications.
Because of Ken Wheeler.
Mathematical implications?
He's the current. He's not a scapegoat. He's the current purveyor of this nonsense. And it seems that a lot of flat earthers have got onto this. Bob from Globuster. And everyone's been, chasing after that. I heard Ken Wheeler when I first jumped on this scene. And Robert Bassano brought it up. He goes, boy, you're going to have a problem with Ken Wheeler. Right? And I didn't even know who he was at the time until I listened to one of his videos. And Mr. Grim V, that's another knucklehead, parroting this Ken Wheeler nonsense. So it's coming from Ken Wheeler and everyone parroting him.
I'm not.
Look, just because you're capable of making up your own nonsense doesn't make it any more excusable.
He's a weirdo full of Freemason tattoo. So, and he's a lot of techno babbly. I don't like him at all.
He knows a lot about cameras.
And Lite.
Oh yeah,
I like some of his ideas about electricity and the field interaction with all that, and that's about it, pretty much. And that's probably the only thing I kind of find
Alright, but
interesting
like,
about it.
what I'm trying to understand though is if you say light is a particle and you think it's a wave, people want to burn you at the stake. I'm trying to understand why is it such a big deal. And you said it's like a mathematical. Well, I mean that's math, okay? How does that apply in reality? Like,
It
I don't
doesn't.
know.
They don't know it. Remember, I said this whole thing could have been avoided back at the beginning with matrix mechanics from Heisenberg. The whole thing, this whole wave particle nonsense, they should have just stuck with it, but no one knew matrix algebra that well. So they just rolled with, they understood wave mechanics, so they just rolled with Schrodinger. But if they didn't do that, if they went with Heisenberg and matrix mechanics, they're equivalent solutions, mathematically speaking. But if they would have went with that, none of this nonsense, we would hear none of this nonsense. I'm just telling you.
Is it what I find puzzling is why academia never bothers to square these circles. There's like individuals that you'll find that you can cite that have clearly recognised it and documented it, but it's not like academia as a whole have gone, oh yeah, we really need to square that circle so everyone's on the same page. They just kind of leave it as is to sort of fester and rot. I don't get it.
yeah.
Maybe that's what they want.
That's partly correct. You're partly correct, Chocolate. Exactly.
Maybe that's what they want. That they want us out here arguing about, is it a wave? Is it a particle? Meanwhile, it might be something else we don't even know about.
Well, because people say wave. Remember, I went through the presentation. As soon as you say wave, what is the picture that you get when somebody says wave?
Surfing dude. But it's not a wave. It's a wave function. It's not a wave.
Exactly. They leave that part off, right? Particle wave duality. They leave the wave function off. They should put it on there because that's exactly what they're talking about. But as soon as you do that, as soon as you say wave function, the whole thing collapses, right?
Don't say the whole thing collapses. The whole argument falls apart as opposed to the whole thing. Yeah. The whole thing collapses because then it suddenly sounds like you're referring to wave function collapse.
The wave function.
It's going to confuse people even more.
I'm sorry, no pun intended, folks. But even Heisenberg talked about this because, and I think I brought it up before, that our language is limited, right? That's where a lot of confusion comes in. It's even documented in the literature where our language is not adequate enough to describe quantum mechanics. It's not. And it breeds so much confusion when it depends on what aspect of quantum mechanics you're talking about. Some of this is pretty easy to understand, right? You don't have to have a degree in Catholicism to figure this out. You don't have to have maths degrees. Math doesn't have anything to do with this other than just to describe the probability distribution. That's it. This has nothing to do with mathematics. This has to do with experiment. That's it.
Apparently, our language is not even good enough to describe math correctly. So I don't know.
Oh no, that's just wizardry. That's wizardry equivocating intentionally.
They had to invent. This is what they do. Remember that guy said there's a lot of people saying about math. They had to invent a different type of math, compound functions, right? If you didn't introduce compound functions into quantum mechanics, they wouldn't be able to describe anything. Remember, mathematics only describes. They're just attempting to describe what's going on in these experiments. That's all mathematics does. It doesn't explain anything.
Like your
it doesn't
function
give you
collapsing.
Is that a non?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right, sunshine.
Hello.
Sweet. Go ahead, give it to him, Nathan.
Give him what? Sorry, now? What now?
Hold on, I'm making coffee and my daughter's crying and I gotta hear your dumbass talk.
Why are you so rude?
I love how you always show up though when we're talking about this shit. Hold on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he hasn't answered the question yet, right? It's been like 6 months. Are you going to get around to it at some point?
You want the question repeating? Do you know what question he's referring to?
Yeah, how did they derive the wave function?
Right. How did they derive the wave function?
He was just telling me mathematics describes wave function is a mathematics. So
That's correct.
Nonsense. He's not a proof of jack shit. Take your phenomena out of your experiment. It's worse than Cavendish, sir.
There ain't no way. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Right. Hold on, John. Come on. If you've got anything really to add, don't rumpus the crap out of him, Anon.
All right, I'll go on mute.
Yeah, that's best to go on mute. You don't even have the question correctly. The question was put to you. How do we know
I just heard you go and contradict yourself. You're just yapping about how mathematics just describes, and then you're talking about a wave function, which is a mathematical construct.
You're summarising his point through him saying something new. That's a globe head mute button tactic. Now, we've both been here long enough to know how to use that tactic. But summarising his point when he's moving on to a new point that he's trying to explain that's complicated, that's very unreasonable. Come on, don't be a fundy.
The actual question that was to him wasn't the question that he stated. It had nothing to do with wave function. The question is, how did they arrive at the wavelength? That's the question. You don't even know the question. So that's telling me you're a pretender clown muppet, right? Right?
Right.
That's right. Now, do you have an answer to that question?
No, man. It's like asking, do you have a question? Well, the fabric of space-time is a fourth-dimensional construct. Have you looked into it? If you look into it, you realize it's the real thing. It's a textile of space-time. You just haven't looked into it, bruh. That's what you sound like. You sound like a globetard.
You're the Einstein. You're the Einstein. You and Einstein and Bob and Ken Wheeler, you're all in bed with Einstein. Do you remember my post that I posted to you in Master B Clown?
Anyway, look, this isn't really...
Go for that.
Well,
You've probably seen 2 minutes of him and then you turn it off. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said such a statement.
Anon is right about that.
Hold on, Mr.
Of
Ether.
course I'm right about that, Armin, sweetheart.
Hold on, Mr. Ether. Okay, Mr. Ether. He started, what he did was, Anon, Bob, all these guys are trying to put a divide between Ether and Einstein. Okay, here is Albert Einstein, Ether and the Theory of Relativity, 1920, and published by Methuen, London, 1922. Einstein says, we may say that according to the general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities in this sense. Therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. You, Einstein, Bob from Globebusters, all those freaking flat earth crayon munchers parroting Ken Wheeler are all bedfellows with Einstein. Do you smell that?
Ken Wheeler, my information that I got from was shut up. Let me finish. I'll let you talk.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk.
You're done. D-U-N.
Oh, you're done. You're done. You sound like a retard. Are you done? Okay. The information is from Jeranism. I'm sure Nathan doesn't think Jeranism is retarded. He does his research properly. So if you go watch how
Mr.
Einstein made...
Hold on, John. Just carry on. Anon.
No, he's bringing up Jaron. So Jaron is a scientist?
don't know what he's citing yet.
Stop rumpusing, John.
I don't know what he's
Not
citing
rumpusing
yet.
him. He's talking about Jaron being a scientist.
No, he's
I
not.
didn't say
No,
he's a
he's not.
scientist.
Stop red
Oh my
herring and
God.
stop rumpusing. Let him finish.
Shut up, Arwen.
Thank you.
What
Oh God,
about
both
Jaron?
of you. Right,
What
Arwen
is
and
Jaron?
John, both of you, please go ahead and on.
Okay, so from his, I got this information from Jaronism's video. I can paste it on Master B whenever you guys want to get a chance. But the idea that ether was abolished by special theory of relativity, that's not a controversial topic. I mean,
What's your
yeah,
point?
you quote mine something right there, John. That says
What's
Einstein
quote
thought
mining?
that
He
without
charged me
ether,
something, Nathan. I'm not going to let him get away with this shit. What's quote mining?
Fine. Go ahead, John.
What's quote mining, clown?
Quote mining, clown, is when you go and find quotes that matches your thoughts.
No, it's
And then
not.
you parrot those. You parrot
Freaking
those.
protect the clown.
Iago.
That's not quote mining.
So go on.
You
What's
don't
quote?
even know what it is, and you're charging me with it.
What's
You're
quote
lucky
mining then?
that far away,
What's-
sir.
what's-
What are
what-
you? Are you a bank robber?
What's quote mining then?
I just told you. It's
Not
when
you. I'm asking John what quote mining is. If it's not finding things that suit your thoughts, or however I paraphrase what Anon said, what is quote mining? If you don't define it, I don't mind defining it.
Quote mining is taking quotations or citations out of their context. Now, you charged me with quote mining. Have you read this document? Ether and the Theory of Relativity, 1920. Have you read this friggin' document?
hold on.
I'll
We
give
already
you
Deal with
hold
it.
on.
I'm an arbiter right now.
We already know the answer's no, though, don't we, Anon? Because you've cited it from a Jaronism video as opposed to the actual source, which Jaron's reading from.
He's just like a baller, right? Quote mining.
That's what you
cherry
are.
pick- He doesn't even know what that means. He's a pretender clown, is what he is. He doesn't even know what it means, and he's charging me with it.
Wait, what was your-
Typical baller.
Okay, fine.
He's a baller.
Hold on, there's still a point left out there. So you're saying general relativity abolished the ether. So what? Anon. So what?
Sorry, guys. I had two kids and they were
No
fighting,
worries.
so I had to
I'll
like
just say it again.
figure them out.
Your point was that general relativity was something that abolished the ether in the way
Special,
that special relativity abolished the ether, but in the same way we would say Newtonian mechanics nonsense though they are replaced by bullshit Einsteinian mechanics. It doesn't mean that you're endorsing one or the other, or the fact that one replaces the other means that the previous one was valid, or anything to that sort of nature. So I don't understand your point.
Okay, well then that gets back to the Michelson-Morley. I mean, they had to. They basically were stuck because the null hypothesis was activated because the Earth didn't show it was moving when they were trying to measure it through the light's bouncing 90 degrees through Earth's rotation around the sun, and the other two lines, one perpendicular to each other.
Okay.
So then they had to come up with a way.
Just before you carry on, do you appreciate why that null hypothesis is immediately telling me that they haven't got an experiment and it's a completely invalid test?
No, explain.
Okay. So in a null hypothesis, you've got to basically show that what you presume is the cause doesn't cause the effect. And you stated Earth spinning in the null.
Not spinning, rotating around the sun.
So
that trajectory, not it spinning around itself.
You don't need to qualify it further. It makes no difference. Just tell me how they varied that.
They can't. You're right. It's not a proper experiment. Correct.
So,
I agree with you.
So at this point, what do you think we're going to do with this information, Anon?
Chuck it.
We're going
Yeah, I
to
get
disregard it entirely as completely useless?
Sure.
So in this instance, we've got Michelson-Morley proving demonstrably useless in scientific terms.
Well, to some extent, but you can say that if the Earth is moving, then the light should take a different time when it bounces back when it's through the route that it's going versus 90-degree perpendicular.
Okay, do you know the problem with that?
Yeah, but if that's your hypothesis, how are you going to manipulate that?
The problem with that
You
is
rotate-
that would be
you rotate- you rotate- you-
Chocolate.
you
Why have you
rotate-
decided to have a cross conversation when he's just decided to give me an affirming the consequent?
You asked me a question, I'm answering it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to let
Chocolate
you because you've just affirmed the consequent. You just didn't complete the fallacy. Yeah, that normally stops the conversation in its tracks.
I gotta go.
What? If Michelson-Morley star rotation because of Michelson-Morley, is that what you're going to tell us? Because it's not proving scientifically valid, you can use it to affirm the consequent.
No, Ginny, you
Yeah, but what I was talking about, how you vary and manipulate it, is by rotating the light and the mirror. Hold on, I gotta go. I'll go mute.
That's fair enough. I've got the general gist enough to take a dump on it. That's good enough for me. Yeah, you're not varying the thing that you're attributing to the cause. Earth or stars spinning isn't the attributed cause to that experiment.
You're right. That's like throwing something heavier than apple on the ground.
Yeah, we've already covered this, but then you went on to affirm the consequent with it. Well, it can prove useful if I affirm the consequent with it. All right. No, it's still just as useless. So we're still back to your claim of ether being that, well, because we've got nonsense that replaced it and got rid of it, that validates it. No, it doesn't. Because I've got a pseudoscience non-experiment that I use to affirm the consequent, that validates ether. No, it doesn't.
But then, of course, there's the Sagnac experiment where he was basically the Michelson-Morley on a rotating spin top, and then you could see that waves, the interference patterns do move when you rotate the table, and that's Sagnac. So I mean, the rotation does affect the patterns, the interference patterns.
What's the hypothesis? Let's do it with Sagnac. What's the hypothesis? What's the observed phenomena? Go through the scientific method for us.
Oh, here we go. Observed phenomena. Don't pull that off with your fucking quantum bullshit.
Well, that's because it hasn't got one. You're creating it within the test.
Just like the quantum eraser experiment. It doesn't have an observed
Why? This is totally unreasonable. Hold on.
After a 2
Hold on,
hour.
John. This is totally unreasonable. So we go from you asserting ether to us debunking first your claimed experiment, Michelson-Morley, then you're affirming the consequent. Now we're on to something new. And all you do is give us an equivocation against something that is scientifically valid that we're not discussing, rather than giving us the hypothesis for this. Sagnac, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the hypothesis for Sagnac?
That if what I just got hit in the head with a laptop. That's what happens with kids. So I guess when you when you're not rotating the table, basically it's a Michelson-Morley contraption. Then you have to assume that if you see any interference pattern movement, like when it basically like slides to the left and slides to the right depending on which way you spin it, they were trying to attribute it to Earth moving. That was the Michelson-Morley. But then after saying, oh, ether doesn't exist, it's all time, it's all relative to time, that's why all the lights come back together, then all what Sagnac did is just spun the table instead of Earth rotating. So when you spin the table, instead of saying, oh, the Earth, now you can vary and manipulate your independent variable being rotation, and you can rotate the table. And that's what he did. That's the Sagnac contraption.
Okay, so the phenomena,
and then you see interference patterns moving.
Babbling.
So the rotation does affect the light.
Oh, God.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the phenomena is created in the apparatus, then.
Oh, don't bring that up with me. You know, you can't bring that up with me when you pair me.
You said that last time.
Quantum
You
eraser.
said that last time. Don't bring this up with me, and then you equivocated with the delayed choice quantum eraser. So we're back to the same point.
Conjure up within
Can we just not have Globehead fucking rumpusing the minute we get to the conclusion? which is this shit is not an experiment. It's not going to have an observed phenomena because it's conjured in the experiment. So it's not an experiment. You don't have a phenomena. But you're like, don't bring
Just
that on
like
with me.
The quantum eraser.
So same crap as last time.
Nathan.
No.
After a 2-hour discussion explaining this to him, I just ran it on my channel, and he's still parroting this nonsense. Weren't you in that hangout and on?
Matter, this blatant straw man that he holds at this false equivalence. No. Just because the crap you hold dear, that you hold dear to your heart, as Jose would say, just because that's been demolished, doesn't mean that you have to go to something that we can discuss at a later date, has been discussed in great detail, and hold that up as being set on fire here. It isn't. It's just Sagnac.
So how can you prove the effect of the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment?
Fuck! No. No. We're talking about ether. We're not talking about interference patterns. We're not talking about diffraction. We're not talking about probability distribution. We're talking about bloody ether.
Everybody sees it, Nathan. It's glaring, bro. Come on, you're ruining your own reputation by sticking up this
diverted away from the
Sagnac
topic.
nonsense or quantum delayed choice quantum eraser nonsense.
Oh, he just said this Sagnac nonsense. Oh no, shit. I mean, delayed choice quantum eraser nonsense. That's what he just said.
If you consider Sagnac nonsense, then so is the quantum eraser.
Yeah, what it's called is, if you're going to crap on my village and burn it to the ground, then I'm going to try and drag the fire along the ground to your village, while we're standing here laughing at you as you drag your burning village along the ground to some nearby village that you think you can burn down as well at the same time. No.
Yeah.
As the quantum eraser experiment is burning behind you, correct?
It's not burning.
Bedfellows.
God.
That's who you are. You got away from the topic. We're getting away from the topic here. Einstein said, therefore exists in ether. Space without ether is unthinkable. That's what he said. I have it cited right here. His friggin' words. You, Bob, Ken Wheeler, all you knuckleheads are Einstein bedfellows. It is you.
Okay, I just like to point out.
It's you who are bedfellows with Einstein.
Did you hear that?
Thank you.
That's heavy straw manning. That's heavy straw manning.
Straw manning? You joking? They're bracing against it based on its Einsteinian attributions. When in reality, I'll hear that quote again if there's less rumpusing. Did you hear the quote from Einstein?
Share my screen, sir.
Yeah, but you can also look at special theory and say that look at how he abolished ether. If you want, I can find the quote. I can't right now, but I will find it for you.
Shut up.
Yeah, you're on.
What is special theory? What is the difference between special and general? Let me know.
Why are we getting off this segue? I've got John presented. He's going to read
It's
it out again.
It's not off.
Einstein abolished ether. It's correct.
He did.
That's what I was taught in school. That's what my brother says.
You were not wrong. Here we go. Nathan, are we ready?
Yeah, you're on screen.
Okay, this is from Einstein Albert, Ether and the Theory of Relativity in 1920, right? Here we go. We may say that according to general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. For in such space, there not only would be no propagation of light, but also no possibility of existence for standards of space and time, measuring rods and clocks. That's not time. Nor therefore any space-time intervals in the physical sense. But this ether may not be tracked through time. The idea of motion may not be applied to it. There you go. So
talking about the actual physical reality or pseudo-Riemannian space.
It looks like you, Glowbusters Bob, the tattooed Job of the Hutt, the Uncle Fester Ken Wheeler, and Albert Einstein, Weird Al, are actual bedfellows. Priceless. Thank you very much.
So was he talking about the actual physical world or his pseudo-Riemannian force space?
Who cares? He's endorsing the ether. Does it matter? Does it matter if it's his bullshit made up?
Yeah, it matters
very much so.
He's backing something with absolutely no scientific validity that you're fighting for. That's the bottom line.
Let me tell you this.
It matters a
When I
lot.
watched-
It was part of his pseudo-Ramonian force space modeling,
Does
or if it
matter?
was a separate.
Icon's
theory
party's
based on
over.
John's rumpusing you.
I know he is. It
Turn
doesn't matter. I got it.
Icon's party's over. Einstein bedfellow.
You sound like
Gotcha.
a child. Listen to me, John. When I watched Riley talk to those two so-called grad students, it was great. I just love how they're on your side about quantum mechanics. And
You're a
they
pretender
were
clown.
talking about quantum mechanics, just like how they talk about
This is not the
heliocentric model.
time.
Why is he constantly segueing onto quantum mechanics? Right? We're talking about the ether, and good old Einie, Einie he's backing it. Doesn't matter if it takes place in his claimed real world or his claimed fourth dimensional world. He's saying ether's real. It's an absolute must, according to Einie.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
He abolished ether.
What do you mean he abolished it?
You want me to find a quote? Do you want me to find? Do you want me to find?
Yeah, go. I want to hear
Okay.
it.
All right, let me just give me. I'll go on mute. I gotta get my laptop and set some stuff up, and I'll get it. Just give me like 10, 20 minutes.
You've got 2 minutes. Then I'm rounding out the show.
Such cognitive dissonance. How are you going to
I can do it tomorrow. I can come back tomorrow or something, but I can find it. Hold on.
Come back tomorrow with the wavelength. What? How
Shut
can
up.
you start this? He says it
Anon,
right
if you want, you can
here.
come on the early bird show, and then we can talk
Says it
about
right
these
straight
kind of
to you,
things.
Arden.
I'd love to,
unrumbled.
but your early bird is way early over here. It's
I
like
know.
middle of it.
Come on,
Read
John.
this, Arwen. Read this right now.
You can't see it. You want me to present it? I've got another 60 seconds left.
I want you to present it. I want Arwen to read this out loud.
Okay, give me a second.
I gotta go. Sorry.
Oh no! Come on! Don't play like that.
Gotta go. Clowns. This clown.
Okay,
That's it.
right. Okay, look, I've just set it up. I've hopefully got
I
enough
got my
time to do it.
newspaper around, and there's a big cloud coming. So
Right, can you see that, Arwen?
He's
yeah,
got
a
his
little.
newspaper out to think about, Nathan.
Yeah.
Can you read it?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Well, it's exactly what he said. So goody. I heard him. Just that's on record. I heard what John said.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Starting over on Ranty Flat Earth channel, there is the Flat Earth Roundtable. So be here or be sphere on Ranty Flat Earth channel. Another massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!